Jonathan, Jeff in Las Vegas, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I love this film. Thank you so much for talking to me about Teas for Chocolate. I just had a blast with this movie. And I just love movies like this that are just and based on a true story. This family fled war-torn Syria and just made the worst situation into a great situation. So congratulations on a wonderful film.
Thank you. I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Is it Tariq? Is that how you say his name?
Tariq.
Tariq, okay, Tariq.
Yeah.
Tariq wants to become a doctor in his new beginnings. His father, Sam, has a different path, restore the business of chocolates. I mean, it's such a classic family story, the hierarchy in a movie like this. What attracted you to this project?
Initially came out of the news, right? And when we had our first, Trudeau was elected about 4 or 5 years ago, he committed to bringing 50,000 refugees in a matter of months. And out of that came this story and many other really great, inspiring stories. And as soon as I saw the way the community came together to support this family, it immediately resonated with my own experience growing up in Nova Scotia and in a tight-knit community. I'm based in LA. I'm far away from home, and I saw this. I'm like, man, that's what I'm missing. Living out here, right, is knowing your neighbor. And I knew this would translate really well on screen. So I reached out to the family and I said, let's do it. If you're ready, let's do this. And they were on board.
يعني شوفت عينك شوكولا.
شوكولا؟ هلا قدران تفكر بأي شيء غير مشكلة بنتك؟ ولا فكر إنه الشوكولا رح تفتح لأبواب كندا للبنت؟
دوقي.
أبو طارق، أنت لازم تعرف إنه هي كانت مرحلة بحياتنا وخلص خلصت.
شوكولا بابا، ما أنت ما عندك لا عدة ولا شغيلة ولا شيء.
هاي الصناعة اللي بعرفها.
هي الشوكولا تبعك ما حدا رح يحبها هون.
These chocolates are amazing.
Oh my God, they're so good.
تعال طارق. لك وحدة أعطيني رأيك بهالطبخة.
تعرفني بابا ما كثير بحب الحلو.
Wait a minute. He did all that from in here?
He was the best chocolatier in Syria.
The mother seems so cruel in this movie too. She's like, that's your old life. Nobody wants your chocolates here. And I just felt, wow, talk about just dashing his hopes and dreams, right?
She's very sweet in real life. That's maybe a little bit dramatic license in that scene in particular. They're all very sweet. But I think it's a real thing. We have the stereotype of immigrants and their parents saying, hey, you have to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, and this is kind of the opposite. It's like, please don't be a doctor. Please be a chocolate business, employee with me, run my business, so. Yeah.
Well, working with an ensemble cast like this, did it become a family? Because it sure came through that way in the final film.
100%, it really did. And the experience of shooting this film, we had 3 languages going on set all the time: French, which was my crew, English, my little bubble, and then Syrian. So you could be in a different country in a different room. We actually shot a lot of the film in one location in this 17-room mansion. We put all our sets together. So we were all under one roof, for weeks together with, no trailers, no nothing. We all became a big family. And I think that contributes to the feel in the film 100%.
It was funny, while researching this interview today, I typed in Teas for Chocolate and, looking for articles and things and there was the chocolate company. I knew it was a true story, but I had no idea it was such a thriving chocolate company. I was looking through it all, and Tariq is a public speaker. I watched his TED Talk. I mean, what an amazing, cool. Yeah. And I'm a sweet fanatic, so I'm looking through to order some chocolates. And even though this is a Canadian story, this is literally the definition of the American dream. Coming over and fighting adversity and becoming a success. So I can only imagine this is an inspiration to so many other immigrants and people with the same kind of story.
I hope so. And I think that was part of the intention, is to give hope to others. Not only people who are going through their own difficult times and fleeing their home, but to people, who have it pretty good. Like us in North America, for sure, and in the Western world. to see that there are people out there who you can help, and it doesn't take much. It's the character of Frank, who's a great real life human being too. Just like looking out and saying, hey, look, these people just went through a terrible experience. What can I do to help? Right? They're just down the street. Maybe I'll find them a little shed. Maybe I'll, find chocolate ingredients. It's exactly how it happened. And I think we can all do that too. Right.
And tell me about working with the family, telling their story, and, were they happy with the final film?
I have a documentary background, so I love going out into, meeting people and figuring out what the story is. And, it's detective work. You're trying to figure out what's the emotional truth in everything, and figuring out, it's a big puzzle to figure out how you're going to take something that, at the time when I got it, it was a feel-good news story, and I really wanted to look beyond that headline and see, well, what is there, in the father, son, neighbor, newcomer. There's lots of themes that came out of it after really digging deep. But I spent a lot of time with the real people, with the community, and getting to know them. And I think that's rung true because everybody seems to be pretty pleased with it. So I'm very happy.
And it was sad, a little bittersweet that I didn't know that Hatim Ali had died, last December. So, but
Yeah.
what a nice final, piece of work he left. What a legacy.
Yeah, and what an incredible artist he was. People referred to him as the Spielberg of the Middle East. He's primarily a director, but he's started as an actor, and having somebody of that quality with me on set, especially when 30% of your film is in a language you don't know. I picked up a few words along the way, but when you've got all this dialogue running a mile a minute, and having an experienced director there to look over your shoulder and give notes, even though we didn't speak the same language. He didn't speak English, and I don't speak Arabic, so we use a lot of Google Translate and hand signals. It works out.
It's a movie right there. There's a movie right there.
I know. I wish we had captured a little bit of it, unfortunately, but yeah.
And premiering at Tribeca, you have to be excited.
Of course. I mean, where better? And this year has such a diverse slate, right? I think there's 5 Middle Eastern films, films from all over the world. I just watched a Danish film the other night, and was shot in Norway. It was a great, it's always great to be at a big worldwide festival like this.
Yeah, I just watched Kick Sled Choir from Norway. I'm just like, I just love, seeing international film. It's just such a worldwide artistic community out there. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me today. Peace by Chocolate, wonderful film at Tribeca. Congratulations, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.